the age of satellites, cyber warfare, hypersonic missiles, and artificial intelligence, the battlefield is no longer defined by sheer numbers or raw firepower alone. Victory increasingly belongs to those who can see first, decide first, and strike first, often without ever being seen. Rising from this new reality of warfare is an aircraft that has reshaped how nations think about air power, deterrence, and dominance. The F-35 Lightning II is not merely a fighter jet, it is a flying sensor, a digital battlefield commander, and a symbol of 21st century military supremacy. Designed to operate in the most hostile environments on Earth, the F-35 represents a radical departure from traditional air combat philosophy, blending stealth, information dominance, and precision into a single platform. For allies and adversaries alike, the presence of the F-35 sends a clear message: modern war begins long before the first shot is fired. The story of the F-35 begins not with speed or dogfights, but with a fundamental question faced by the United States and its allies after the Cold War: how do you maintain air superiority in a world where advanced air defenses, networked radars, and long-range missiles threaten even the most powerful air forces? The answer was not to build a faster or more heavily armed aircraft, but a smarter one. Conceived under the Joint Strike Fighter program, the F-35 was designed from the ground up to fight and survive in environments saturated with enemy sensors and surface-to-air missile systems. Unlike earlier fighters that relied on external support for targeting and intelligence, the F-35 would become its own information hub, capable of collecting, processing, and distributing vast amounts of data in real time. At the heart of the F-35's power lies its stealth. Shaped with precision and coated in advanced radar-absorbing materials, the aircraft is engineered to minimize its radar cross-section from multiple angles. This allows it to penetrate defended airspace where older aircraft would be detected and targeted long before reaching their objectives. However, stealth in the F-35 is not just about avoiding radar, it is about reducing visibility across multiple domains, including infrared and electronic signatures. The result is an aircraft that can approach enemy territory with a dramatically reduced chance of detection, turning the traditional dynamics of air defense upside down. Yet focusing solely on stealth misses the true revolution of the F-35. What sets it apart is sensor fusion, the ability to combine data from onboard sensors, off-board platforms, satellites, and allied aircraft into a single, coherent picture of the battlefield. The pilot does not see raw radar returns or isolated infrared tracks. Instead, the aircraft's computers synthesize this information into an intuitive display that highlights threats, targets, and friendly forces. This reduces pilot workload while dramatically increasing situational awareness. In combat, knowing more than your opponent often matters more than flying faster or carrying more weapons, and the F-35 is built around this principle. The aircraft's distributed aperture system allows it to see in every direction simultaneously, detecting missile launches, aircraft movements, and ground activity without the need for traditional targeting pods. Combined with the advanced active electronically scanned array radar, the F-35 can track multiple air and ground targets at long ranges while remaining difficult to detect. This capability transforms the aircraft into a silent hunter, capable of identifying and engaging threats before those threats even realize they are being watched. In many scenarios, the F-35's greatest weapon is not a missile or bomb, but information. Another defining feature of the F-35 is its role as a force multiplier. Rather than operating in isolation, the aircraft is designed to function as part of a networked combat system. It can share targeting data with older fighters, naval vessels, ground forces, and command centers, enabling them to engage targets they might not be able to see themselves. In this way, the F-35 extends its influence far beyond its own weapons load. A single F-35 can quietly penetrate enemy airspace, identify high-value targets, and guide long-range strikes launched from ships or aircraft hundreds of kilometers away. This networked approach reflects the evolving nature of warfare, where coordination and connectivity often determine outcomes. The F-35 program includes 3 main variants, each tailored to different operational needs while sharing a common technological core. The F-35A is the conventional takeoff and landing version, primarily used by air forces operating from traditional runways. The F-35B features short takeoff and vertical landing capability, allowing it to operate from austere bases and amphibious assault ships. The F-35C, designed for carrier operations, features larger wings and reinforced landing gear to withstand the demands of naval aviation. This versatility enables the aircraft to project power from land and sea, reinforcing its strategic value to Allied forces around the world. Critics of the F-35 often point to its cost, complexity, and lengthy development process, and these criticisms are not without merit. The program faced significant technical challenges, delays, and budget overruns, making it one of the most controversial defense projects in history. However, evaluating the F-35 solely through the lens of procurement cost overlooks its broader strategic purpose. The aircraft was never intended to be just another fighter. It was designed to serve as the backbone of Allied air power for decades, replacing multiple aging platforms with a single, adaptable system. When viewed as an integrated capability rather than a standalone jet, the F-35's value becomes clearer. Operational experience has further reshaped perceptions of the F-35. As the aircraft entered service with multiple nations, pilots and commanders began to report unprecedented levels of situational awareness and survivability. Exercises consistently demonstrated that F-35s could detect and engage adversary aircraft long before being detected themselves, often achieving decisive outcomes without traditional dogfighting. These results reinforced a key lesson of modern air combat: the fight is often won before it becomes visible. In this context, the F-35 excels not by dazzling observers with speed or aerobatics, but by quietly controlling the battle space. Beyond its tactical capabilities, the F-35 carries significant geopolitical implications. Its adoption by numerous Allied nations has created an unprecedented level of interoperability among air forces. Shared training, common logistics, and compatible systems allow these countries to operate together more seamlessly than ever before. This collective capability strengthens deterrence by signaling unity and technological superiority. For potential adversaries, confronting not just one nation's air force but a networked coalition equipped with F-35s presents a far more complex challenge. The psychological impact of the F-35 should not be underestimated. Deterrence is as much about perception as it is about hardware, and the presence of advanced stealth aircraft can influence strategic calculations without a single engagement taking place. Knowing that an opponent possesses the ability to strike key targets with minimal warning can shape decisions at the highest levels of leadership. In this sense, the F-35 functions as a tool of silent deterrence, embodying the idea that the most effective power is often the power that does not need to be used. As warfare continues to evolve, the F-35 is designed to evolve with it. Unlike earlier generations of aircraft that required major physical modifications to add new capabilities, the F-35 relies heavily on software updates. This allows new weapons, sensors, and tactics to be integrated more rapidly, extending the aircraft's relevance in a fast-changing threat environment. In an era where technology advances at unprecedented speed, this adaptability is crucial. The F-35 is not a finished product, but a continuously evolving platform. The aircraft also reflects a broader shift in military thinking toward multi-domain operations. Modern conflicts do not occur solely in the air, on land, or at sea. They span space, cyberspace, and the electromagnetic spectrum. The F-35's ability to operate across these domains, collecting electronic intelligence, supporting cyber operations, and integrating with space-based assets, positions it as a key node in future conflicts. This holistic approach to warfare underscores why the F-35 is often described not just as a fighter, but as a system. Despite its advanced capabilities, the F-35 does not render other aircraft obsolete. Instead, it redefines their roles. Older fighters and bombers can operate more effectively when supported by F-35s providing targeting data and threat awareness. This layered approach maximizes the strengths of different platforms, creating a more resilient and flexible force. In this way, the F-35 enhances the effectiveness of an entire air fleet rather than replacing it outright. The global spread of the F-35 also highlights the changing nature of defense alliances. Shared dependence on a common platform encourages deeper cooperation, joint planning, and shared strategic outlooks. At the same time, it raises important questions about sovereignty, supply chains, and technological control. These dynamics reflect the complexities of modern defense relationships, where security is increasingly collective but still shaped by national interests. Looking to the future, the F-35 will likely serve as a bridge between current and next-generation air combat systems. Concepts such as manned-unmanned teaming, artificial intelligence-assisted decision-making, and autonomous support aircraft are already being explored, with the F-35 positioned to play a central role. By acting as a command node for unmanned systems, the aircraft could extend its reach and effectiveness even further, reinforcing its status as a cornerstone of future air power. In the end, the significance of the F-35 cannot be measured solely in terms of speed, altitude, or weapons load. Its true power lies in how it changes the way wars are planned, fought, and prevented. By combining stealth, information dominance, and networked warfare into a single platform, the F-35 embodies the realities of modern conflict. It is an aircraft built not just to fight wars, but to shape the strategic environment in which those wars might, or might not, occur. For viewers and analysts alike, the F-35 offers a glimpse into the future of warfare, where visibility is a liability, information is the ultimate weapon, and deterrence operates quietly in the background. As long as it patrols the skies, often unseen and unheard, it serves as a constant reminder that power in the modern world does not always announce itself with noise and spectacle. Sometimes, the most decisive force is the one that remains invisible, watching, waiting, and ready. That is the essence of the F-35 Lightning II, and the philosophy at the core of silent deterrence.